Success is a lousy teacher. It fools smart people into thinking that they can't lose. Bill Gates. Bill is one of the most fascinating people I've ever seen in my life. From running his days full-time at Microsoft to becoming a philanthropist, Bill Gates has revolutionized the way that we run our day-to-day life, which is exactly why in this week's episode of MasterTalk, we're going to be featuring one of the greatest technology entrepreneurs of all time and break down his communication style so that we can all learn from him. So let's get into it. Number one, find a shocking way to get your audience at the edge of their seats. During Bill Gates' famous TED Talk on malaria, he goes up to the crowd, looks at them and says, well, it's unfair if malaria is only affecting impoverished countries. All of you in this audience should feel it too. And then he goes on to open a jar filled with 2 mosquitoes. And this frightens everyone in the audience. They go, oh my God, what is he going to do next? And it gets them at the edge of their seats. Of course, none of the mosquitoes were infected with malaria, but Gates uses this technique to shock his audience into listening to his speech, which I find very fascinating because this is not the only time that Bill Gates leverages this technique. He also did it in another TED Talk where he discussed the global pandemic and some of the challenges that might be occurring with some bearing and shocking statistics. What's the message for all of us? Is it to bring a jar filled with mosquitoes to our next presentation? Probably not. But the trick here is to go back to our presentations and think, what are 1 or 2 ways and how I can deliver a shock factor in the way that I deliver my ideas? And you could start with something small and then use creativity and imagination to make it a little bit more interesting. Number 2, true intelligence is the ability to explain a topic in a way that anyone can understand it. Bill Gates has read hundreds, if not thousands of books in his entire career. He probably goes through books faster than we go through a bag of potato chips. Yet, despite all of the knowledge in his brain, his TED Talks are surprisingly easy to understand. Even somebody who has no exposure to the topic, like the deep expertise he has on pandemics or malaria or how to solve global world problems, Bill Gates is still able to simplify his ideas enough so that even a 5-year-old can understand what he's saying. The point is that if one of the smartest people on earth is taking time to simplify his ideas, it means we need to as well, because we want everyone to understand what we're saying. Because if we achieve that, then we can get more people enrolled into our ideas and into our vision. That means go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, what kinds of questions can I ask my audience? Hey, if you were to explain this idea back to me, how would you explain what I just shared? And use that feedback to make your idea simpler, and even more simpler until you get the results that you're looking for out of the presentation. And finally, number 3, don't be afraid to share your uniqueness to the world. What I love the most about Bill Gates is that he's not afraid about being himself. He's a nerd at heart. He loves books. He's passionate about technology, and he's a big fan of numbers and data. Yet, that's exactly how he shows up in his TED Talks. His presentations are filled with numbers. They're filled with simple anecdotes. And he's not the most enthusiastic presenter in the world. We still love his presentations. We still love the way that he shows up. There are 20 different ways of conveying an idea, 20 different ways of presenting something. But there are a few ways that work uniquely for you. So the key here is to test all of them. Try a story, try an anecdote. Don't be shy to try a little bit of data and see what happens. And then when you know what works best for you, triple down on those strategies and find success. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. And the reason why I love this quote by Bill Gates is because he embodies it. Regardless of the success he's had at Microsoft and throughout his career, he still brought a beginner's mindset to presenting, ideas effectively, public speaking, and his new ventures in philanthropy. How can we bring that simplicity, that beginner's mindset into the way that we present ideas as well? And that's exactly what I encourage you to do as soon as this video ends. Focus on simplicity and ask yourself, how can I develop a beginner's mindset like Bill Gates and take my ideas to the world? And I know you can do it. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of MasterTalk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. And of course, if you want to jump in on one of my free communication trainings that I do over Zoom, the link is in the description below. I can't wait to see you at the next one. And of course, if you know one person, and I know you do, who knows Bill Gates, or at least is aware of him, be sure to send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to embracing their ideas for the world. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.